the answer or not? Now, the very, very important thing, we are going to derive the rotor EMF current and power factor for the induction motor. Okay, we are going to see how each of the thing is going to vary. So for the before that, we are going to list the parameters which we are going to use in the derivation. See, always the notation here is one means it is going to be stator. The suffix 2 I am going to use means it is going to be the rotor. So please understand this notation used in this derivation. So 2 means it's going to be the rotor. So V1 is the voltage applied to the stator per phase. Since you have 3 phases, we are going to be, we here all the notations are per phase, only for one phase. So totally means you have to multiply by 3. It's a 3-phase network, correct? N1 is the number of turns in the stator. N2 is the number of turns in the rotors per phase, everything. You see here. Phi is the flux per pole. One pole, it is phi. So if you have P poles, you have to multiply this phi with P. F is the frequency of supply. E1 is the EMF induced in the stator. 1 means stator, 2 means rotor. When you simply put 2, it means the motor is running. When you put 2 followed by a 0, it means that the motor is not running, or you call it a standstill condition. Okay, so in only rotor, stator is always standstill, so I need not put 1 0. If I put 1 means it is stator, but if I put 2 followed by 0, it means the motor is not running, or it is standstill. Okay, so R2 is the resistance of the rotor per phase, X2 is the reactance, X2 naught and L2 naught are the reactance and inductance when the motor is standstill or not running. So whenever we are going to deal with the windings, we'll be using these parameters KD1, KD2, KP1, KP2. KD1 and KD2 are the distribution factors of stator and rotor, and KP1 and KP2 are the pitch factors of stator and rotor. See, these parameters will automatically come for any winding based derivation. So we will not go deep into what is distribution factor and pitch factor. Just understand that these factors have to be considered whenever I'm going to consider the windings as a part of my derivation. Unless you know the synchronous speed of rotation of your the speed at which your stator magnetic field is going to rotate. Okay, so these are the parameters assumed. With these parameters, we are going to derive the rotor EMF, current and power factor of the induction motor. Okay, see. So when the rotor is not rotating, you have EMF induced in both stator and rotor, and you know everything runs at synchronous speed ns. Ns is per minute. So if I convert to per second, I'll be dividing it by 60. So ns by 60 revolutions per second. So it is running at ns by 60, and the flux per pole is 5. If the number of poles is p, so the total flux cut per second is p 5 ns by 60. See, if the field is not rotating, means ns by 60 will not come. You will just get p into 5. But since the field is rotating at ns by 60 revolutions per second, so per second the flux cut is going to be p5 ns by 60. This is the first step we are writing. We are calculating the flux cut per second. Okay, because everything is per second, because we are having frequency term coming here. So whatever we have in minutes, we are going to convert that into seconds. First thing, we have converted the speed into seconds. It is ns by 60. Then we are going to find out the flux cut per second. It is p5 into ns by 60. Any doubt till this step? You're able to follow?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Now we are going to find what is the average EMF induced in each conductor. So when you have so many conductors, right? So in the stator you have conductors. So we are going to find the average value of EMF induced in the each conductor. So if that small E1 is given by, we have to use the form factor kf. Form factor is one another factor, just like your pitch and distribution factor, which will be used for the winding. So it is kf into the flux cut per second. So kf into the flux cut per second is p5 ns by 60. So it is k5 in kf into, I'm going to write it in a different way, 25 into p ns by 120. And you know p ns by 120 is going to be my frequency, so I'm going to replace the p ns by 120 by f. So the answer is going to be 2.22 pi into F. So this is going to be the EMF induced per conductor. The average value, if you are going to convert into RMS value, you have to multiply by the form factor. That's the understanding. Since everything is AC currents and voltage here, right? So if you want to find the we will be writing everything only in RMS value. So, but we have the average value. So if you want to convert the average into RMS, we will be multiplying by the form factor KF, and the KF value is 1.11 for sinusoidal wave shape, because in AC we assume sinusoidal signals, correct? So we'll be multiplying by 1.11. So the EMF RMS value of EMF induced in the stator is given by 2.22 into 5F. And we know that in a stator we have N1 turns per phase, or two N1 conductors in series per phase. So for one phase, you have two conductors, both are in series. So for one conductor is N1, so N1 plus N1 is going to be two N1 turns in series per phase. The total EMF induced will be E1 into 2N1, because you have two N1 turns in stator. And E1 is 2.225F, multiply by 2N1, you get 4.445 F N1. So this is the total EMF induced per phase in the stator. Okay, and everything is per phase. Okay, so we are not we are doing it only for per phase. If you want to find total means, you have to multiply the final answer by 3 for all the 3 phases. So everything is per phase here. Please understand that clearly. And if you are going to consider the pitch and distribution factor, multiply the answer by KD1 and KP1, because I am considering about the stator. Stator means I told you suffix is going to be 1. And if the motor, if the same thing, if you want to do it for the rotor means the same thing we can write. Only thing the suffix will be E2. So E2, when the motor standstill means put E2 naught. So E2 naught will be equal to 4.445 F5 N2 KD2 KP2. So once we derive the expression for stator, the same thing will be for rotor. If it is standstill means you have to put a naught. If it is rotating means you have to multiply the standstill voltage by S. I told you, right, in induction motor, the running condition will be S into the static condition. That is the general equation. The running parameter equal to S into the static parameter. So running condition means E2. I know E2 not the motor standstill. So for finding E2, you have to multiply the E2 naught by S. So S into E2 naught. Substitute for E2 naught. 4.44 S into F into 5 into N2 KD2 KP2. And I'm grouping the S into F. I'm going to call it as the frequency FR. The FR is going to be the new frequency. So when the rotor is rotating, the new frequency FR is given by S into F. Even the frequency will also lag. See, since your rotor is rotating at a lesser speed than your rotating magnetic field, all the parameters in the rotor will be lagging behind by the same parameter S. S is called as your slip. So when the motor is running at synchronous speed, slip will be 0. So the induced EMF will also be 0. So when the motor is running at a speed of less than the synchronous speed, you will have the EMF proportional to S. S is going to be the slip of your induction motor. So you are able to understand the rotor EMF expression. So here we find that E2 is proportional to S. All other parameters are constant. E2 is proportional to S. So as the motor is going to run at increased speed, the induced EMF will be increasing. Okay, so slip, everything is proportional to slip here. Any doubts in this?